Hello, and welcome to the Django 3 course! I'm so excited that you're here, and so excited that I get to teach you Django. I love Django. I think it's an amazing web framework, and let me tell you why. I am a mobile and web developer, and about 6 years ago, mostly mobile developer, but would create websites so that I could power the back end of those apps and make landing pages, things like that. But about 3 years ago, I started looking into Django, and I really fell in love. I just thought it was an amazing project, awesome community, documentation, and I just kept building more and more side projects with Django and just absolutely fell in love to the point that now my own personal teaching website, zappycode.com, is all run on Django. And in fact, that thing is open source. So it'll be funny as you go through the course, you can go back and check that code. I think you'll have fun seeing how that website ticks and whatnot. But why did I fall in love? Why do I think this is such a great web framework? Well, typically with web frameworks, and let me talk about what a web framework is, it's a way to create a website with a given programming language. So there's lots of web frameworks out there. There's frameworks for JavaScript, Go, Python, Java, Swift, Ruby. I mean, if there's a programming language out there, there's going to be web frameworks for it. Now, with all these web frameworks, they sort of lie on this line here. And the two ends of the spectrum here on the line are the web framework does everything for you, and the web framework does nothing for you. So on this end of the spectrum is something like Ruby on Rails. With a couple of keystrokes, you can get your project up and running. It's got a full authentication system that people can log in and out of, create and delete objects, all that great stuff. But as soon as you want to start customizing things on this end, it gets really tricky, and there's lots of black boxes that you're not quite sure how it works. And after you make some customization, if you come back later to try and change it, it's going to be really hard to figure out where it is and what it's working with. It gets messy the more that you customize this. Now, on this end of the spectrum, where the web framework doesn't do much for you, an example of this might be Flask, is that you have to do all the work. It's completely customizable because you're essentially building it from the ground up. It just really lays a very light foundation, and then you have to build everything on top of that. So in my opinion, you want to get this sweet middle ground between these two areas, and I really think that Django does that. Yes, it helps you get off the ground quickly. There's lots of things that will be great for you, an easy way to interact with the database, a really simple authentication system, but if you want to customize things, there's defined places for that to happen, and it's not an obscure thing that's going to be hard to fix later. No, there is purposely spaces built in order for that to happen. So, enough yip yap from me. Let me give you a quick outline of the course so that if you want to jump to a particular place, you'll know exactly where to go. We're going to start first with a Python refresher. This is a section to get you up to speed on Python because Django is a Python framework. You don't have to be an expert in Python by any means, but if you've never worked with Python before or you just want a refresher, that's going to be a great section for you. Next, we're going to be building 3 different websites in this course. Now, each of these is going to be building in difficulty. Essentially, the first website is just to get the ground level knowledge of Django, really see how it ticks. Next, we're going to be learning how to work with the database. And then finally, our third app is going to be a fully fledged web app where we're going to have an authentication system, creating, deleting objects. You'll see how all that works. Now, between our first and second site, I've got a fun little section that's sandwiched in between to give you a break and teach you about Git and how to do some source control for your project. And then between the second and the third website, I'm going to teach you how to deploy your projects. Now, deploy is just a fancy way to say putting your site live on the internet so that everyone can use it. And then after the third website, there's a little section called What's New in Django 3. So if you have some Django experience before and you want to see what all the new bells and whistles are in Django 3, that's going to be the section for you. Okay? I'm so excited to get started. Let's go ahead and move forward right now.